honest about our freedoms, and we've taken them for granted. And the result is that we're a poorer country, we have less freedom, and we're overly involved in overseas. Many, many great nations have done this in the past. It seems like it's almost habitual, and therefore we have to point out exactly where our problems are, why we are a poorer nation, why we have less freedom, why we are greatly in debt, why we continue to spend the money. Because one sure thing is there's no way that we can dump all this debt and all these problems on the next generation, because it's unfair, it's unsustainable, they can't pay the debt, and we have to take it upon ourselves to change the course of our history in this country. That's the one thing is, we had the freest country and the most prosperous country. We had the largest middle class and the wealthiest middle class ever. Today, the middle class is shrinking, the middle class is getting poorer, the poor are getting more numerous, and the rich are getting richer under this system. And therefore, we have to understand exactly how this came about. One of the things I believe has happened is that because of our richness in this country and all the material wealth we have, as a consequence of our understanding about personal liberty and property rights and sound money, we concentrated on the material benefits and we forgot about where it was coming from. We forgot that you have to produce wealth to enjoy wealth. We forgot about the fundamentals of liberty. And you say, well, if they forgot 50 years ago, so why didn't we get poor? Well, it took a long time. We had so much wealth. But today, even the apparent wealth that we have in this country is based on debt. And it's a big difference now. Before it used to be based, we used to be a creditor nation. Now we owe more money than any other country ever has in the history of the world. And this is why we're in the midst of a financial crisis. And it is related to the understanding what the role of government ought to be. The founders knew and understood that the role of the king was not what they wanted. And they knew what they wanted. They had a revolution. They wrote a constitution and warned us. If a people do not remain moral, they will not maintain their liberties. And today we are suffering the consequence of our loss of confidence in freedom, and now we are a poorer nation. So what we have to do is once again reinstill in the hearts and minds of the American people the love of liberty and the love of producing wealth again, and not the dependency on borrowing and spending and printing press money. Into a financial crisis. Today, our deficit's running, last month, February, our national debt went up $200 billion in 1 month. Broke all records, and that was a short month, too. But the talk of the other candidates and people in Washington talk about, oh yeah, we're going to cut, and we have these automatic cuts when the Congress won't do it, and the super committee makes a super mess out of things, and then they have these automatic cuts. But the automatic cuts, it's a farce. They say they're going to cut $1 trillion. Well, that sounds pretty good. It's a cut of $1 trillion over a 10-year proposed increase of $10 trillion. So they're going to cut a $10 trillion increase in spending, cut it by $1 trillion, and then want to get excited about it. That's cutting $100 billion a year. In the national debt going up between $100 and $200 billion every single month, it won't hack it. You know what will hack it? Is for us to have a new president that's willing to cut the budget by $1 trillion. We need to invite businesses back in, encourage companies to come back in, which means that we need a new tax code. The best reform in the tax code would be repeal the 16th Amendment. The reduction of taxes will certainly help us, the reduction of regulations, but many companies go overseas because of the onerous regulations. And there's just too many laws. Unbelievably, on January 1st of this year, even having new laws were placed on the people of this country, 40,000 new laws. What I $40,000